Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Books and More 1818. And yes, we have another guest on today. Who might that guest be? I don't know. I'm going to let him, well, you see him already. I'll let him introduce himself. I'll just say his name is Matt, and he'll come on and give his little bio and tell us about his book. So, welcome, Matt, to the show. Tell us your full name, give us a little bio, and tell us the name of the book and hold it up for us.
Okay, thanks for having me on, Sylvia. I'm glad to be here. Uh, my name is Matt Sem. I grew up in Wausau, Wisconsin, and I've been a tennis pro for 25 years as my official job, you could say. And I started writing this book in 2004 called The 86 Kids. I'm going to do a very quick synopsis of the book. Here's the see the photo of this. That's the what the book cover is going to look like when it comes out in hopefully end of June. Um, I really got into the book is basically about growing up in one year, 85 and 86, my childhood, lots of humor, uh, sports, the high roller derby, the parties that we had to go to, probably those fun. Sorry, I'm mumbling around. Um, some tennis at the end, but mostly it's a lot of humor involved. First crush, having fun with your friends, kind of time when things kind of made sense. You didn't have cell phones. If anybody relates to the 80s, it's a really great time during that generation. The Generation X would be very much interested in this book. And it was something I just one day I said, "Hey, why not do something about the '80s?" And it's really big right now, so I thought I'd bring it out there to the public and see how it goes. I think everybody will enjoy it, especially Generation X, like I said, fans and just anybody in general who had a great childhood and just kind of wants to go back to the old times for a little bit to kind of relive that. So yeah, it's I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited to come out. I have not been a published author yet. This is my first book, so very very excited for it. Yeah, thank you. It's one of my kind of lifelong goals is to do something else besides tennis, and then of course segue into some author stuff and have some other books as well. But this is really the big one I'm starting with. I even got the old copy of the 86 Kids when I had to I hand wrote this, and I can't even read my writing, but I had to decipher through it. I actually came up with it and got it done in 2018. Took a
Yeah.
long time, and here we are.
Wonderful. I think it's fantastic. I'm a huge 80s fan as I was a teenager growing up in the 80s. I can tell you every song, every movie. Like we discussed, we love the shows that open with great music. I mean, nowadays I don't see that as much. And if I do, I point it out. But so much to discuss, so much to talk about. And thank you
Yes,
for
let's
coming
let's
on the show. Now, this is our pre-launch interview. His book is called
yes.
The 86 Kids, and it's coming out hopefully in June. And then we'll do another interview when it hits the bookshelves, as we say, Amazon and etc. So I'm going to throw some questions at you now. You ready?
Sounds good. Let's fire away. If I don't fall off this chair, if I do, well, we just have to keep going.
A
Go ahead.
little comedy like in your book.
That's how it has to be. You have to have comedy. Everyone needs a little bit of comedy. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. What gave you the idea to write this book, and when did you start putting it into words?
Oh, great question. I got the idea when I was in Wilson, North Carolina teaching. There was some times where I had a little time to for myself. When it was raining, you couldn't play tennis, obviously. And I know boss doesn't know this, but when she was gone, like she was out doing errands or running or something, I was just sitting there going, I was missing home, and I was thinking about the '80s time, and then just everything just flew back into my mind. Each event that one year from '85 to '86 was just so magical. Well, I just started writing about this, and initially it was just supposed to be for my family and friends, just to write just for fun. That was a big thing for me to do. But it just flowed. I mean, it was just great. I can remember so many things like you talked about. You remember the movies, the songs opening up. It's such a great time in the life that I had my childhood. I said, well, put it into words. If you don't publish it someday, at least you have that for your, like I said, for your family and friends. And yeah, it was 2004 is kind of when I started that, the putting into words. It took me a little while. Things come up in your life, family, job, all those other things. And then it finally got done in 2018. In fact, I had, um, here's actually This is like the initial cover. It's I don't know, it's not like the A6 Kids, and it has like a little. It's hard to put this in the video.
Nice, very nice.
So it just that's just yeah, that's just not it's not spruced up, but that was my own little cover. And you can see all the pages. If anybody's an author, look at all the pages you're printing out. It's
Uh,
not front and back, but still. Yeah, so that was it flew and I had a great time and now I'm with you and I can't believe it's happening. And it's just when we published author is kind of a dream and I was always a sports guy. Like, oh, are you very well, I don't know who I'm talking over here. Who's you always sports and you think, oh, what are you doing in school? I was not the greatest student. I was just I mean, I was smart, but I didn't apply myself. And then I found writing. So yeah, here I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you'll see in his book when you read it, hopefully everyone should read it. There's some sports in it, of course, which is very nice to read about as well, amongst many other things. It's a great
Right.
book. I read it, I loved it.
Thank
What
you.
is the time frame of your memoir?
The time frame is starting in the fall of 1985 and then ends in the summer of 86. So you're looking at a year in the life of me with my friends and stuff like that. That's just kind of a perfect segue starting that. It's when I was in, I don't know about now, but elementary school back then was K through 6. Then you had middle school 7th and 8th and high school 9th through 12. So my 6th grade year was our last year of elementary school. And like I said, it segues from the transition from a little bit of awkward stuff, like having a first crush, the time frame for the year, but just basically it goes all the way up for a year in the life. Doesn't go anything past that. Just I want to give everybody a little time in there. Remember 1 year in their life for that time frame. So it was really it was a really good time, and like I said, I'm very excited about that. It ends in the summer, and that actually ends. I don't want to give a lot away with some tennis that I started getting. I played tennis with my brother and his friends. They dragged me along, and that's how I got into tennis. And then the future was just from there was all tennis. So yeah, it was a year. Mm-hmm.
Hmm, very interesting. While the 80s has been mentioned in many books, what is different about yours?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I love 80s books. I have like there's books on movies, and we all know this. Music, the kind of the fashion, the big hair back in the 80s. Uh, it's mine is just it's a memoir. I really haven't seen or read anything about someone's actual life or childhood from that just 1 year from the 80s. Everything else is they have snippets. There's nothing really about just one, like I said, one basic year of someone's life or a kid's life and how great it was. Everything else is basically, this is a top 40 hit, this thing, and they have like little things. And like I said, when I went on YouTube and watched some of these 80s YouTube videos, and the people are going, I want to go back. I had such a great time. And I didn't usually see like a couple negative comments on a lot of these things, but there wasn't on any of these videos. It was such a magical time. That's why I thought, well, let's just talk about it for a year. And if they go back and they can remember each segment or something in there, like I said, crush, basketball, stuff on TV, funny comments, going out and playing, riding your bike around, and parents say, "Hey, just come home at 5 o'clock." Okay, it's just that safety a little bit too, and everybody's so friendly. At least in like I said, in my respect. But it seems like when I looked at all the other things that people have said, they've had the same experience as me. So it's a little different.
When I was reading your book, and I really remembered and loved and wouldn't miss it, Casey Kasem's top, what is it, top
Top
40?
40. Yep.
I said,
Mhm.
yes, I had to listen to it. I look forward to it. It was every week. And those songs were great back then. Sorry, everyone, but the songs today are not whatever as good.
Yeah.
The 80s had the
Well,
best music. So I said, yes, Casey Kasem. And then it was Dick Clark. I said, that was
right.
fantastic. Those shows were great. I wish we had something like that now, but it's a little different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a little snippet from the book, because I do mention Casey Kasem. And since you've read it, and thanks for a good review or two as well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was always going to church, and they would have like this number 40, and they have a long distance dedication from Heidi to Tim in New York. Have these long distance, and they play this nice little music, and then what number? Then we get done with church. I say, what number are they on now? I was excited to see now my favorite song. Yeah, Duran the Reflex, number 3. So it was just
Yeah.
like, just get done. I want not gonna say anything bad about religion, but it's just I want to get down in church so I can see, or sorry, hear Casey Kasem in such a distinct voice.
Yeah.
You had the great radio voices, like I said, Dick Clark, his case. I mean, it's fun to go back. That's kind of something that's in the book as well.
Oh yeah, I was so nostalgic. I mean, I woke up this morning thinking about the 80s like crazy. Amazing. Um,
You don't still have any fashion stuff, do you?
I have to go look in my closet. I probably have some stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. What's
Yeah.
one of your favorite memories from that specific time?
From that specific time in the book was the winning the city basketball championship with my friends and have it. It was actually recorded on video. We're
Oh,
talking those big honking VHS camp with the tapes you put in. It was actually it was on the opposing teams. I got to know them later on. That was their mom, and they had one of the first ones, so they recorded that whole game. So that's on my website as well. You can see like the ending of that game. And I'm the little guy with a little blonde hair and made one big shot. I turned over like 50 times, but I made that one big shot. So that was my biggest thing to win that with your friends and enjoy that and have it on tape. I mean, that's pretty nostalgic in itself. So that was the biggest thing from the memories for that time. But there's so many memories I could just go on and on.
remember the boom boxes?
Yeah, I got one up there. Yep.
I have one in my closet too.
Yeah, that's my boombox. It's kind of a retro one. That's the one you carry around. We used to do like breakdancing back in the day. You get a little. I mean, I don't know what I was doing in the backspin, whatever. So that was kind of cool too, as well. And my alter ego's over there. That's my bobblehead I got from one of my tennis clients. But anyway, not gonna go into that. But yeah, that was great. It was
So
just a
you
fun memories. I
do a little break dancing?
do what?
Do you do you do a little break dancing? You know how to still break dance?
If I tried, I'd probably break my back.
Oh no.
This. Well, I don't think I want to try to do the worm and the backspin and all those. I don't know what I'm doing there, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of funny. And like I said, and everybody, we don't, when you break dance and when you do your little number, you do, then you point at somebody and they go and do it in the cardboard thing. So it's like, but then, like I said, it was good. I'm not a big fan of rap. I mean, nothing against it right now, but back then it was really good. The musicians, they played instruments, and so it was clean. So I think the part that was clean with the music was not so vulgar. So it was so much fun and just like, okay, your next turn is you and let's go. So yeah, that's kind of I wouldn't want to do it now. I could try, but I probably wouldn't be able to get up.
Now I was joking with you.
Oh, I know you were. I know you were. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
The Sugar Hill Gang was my favorite. I love them. Oh my gosh. Forget it.
Sugar.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I can talk all day about this book, and this book made me nostalgic, and I could talk about the 80s all day. So let me get back on topic.
Yeah, let's get
What
back
was
on the
your
segue.
what was your biggest influence or influences as a kid back then?
I had to say my biggest influence was my parents.
Hmm.
I think they were the one that shaped, and obviously the culture shaped me as well. Mom and dad and my brother, they all have distinct personalities, so that all kind of molded into my personality, what they're actually, and my friends. And it was just to me, it was surreal. Like I didn't really know any like bad things happening. Maybe I just was naive because you're a kid, but they were my biggest influences in my life. I mean, they're the ones that made me who I am today. And without my parents and my brother and my extended family, there is no, I wouldn't be here writing about this because it was such a great period of time. Influences, I could say musicians, or I could say music, movies, and all those art actors, but they're not my idols. Idols are my parents. For me, that's how I grew up. That shape. Thank you. That shaped that shaped who I am today, and it'll continue that this way. They're still living, and I can do it. I'll do whatever it takes to hopefully take care of them, and that's what I'm doing. Um, on and off right now. So yeah, that's the influences. I could say Freddie Mercury is my influence. Like he's a great, but that's not a role model. I mean, he's awesome, but that to me, that's what Charles Barkley said. I'm not a role model. He's a great basketball player. It's true, but you're in the public eye, so people watch you. So yeah, my parents.
Wonderful. I can say the same for me. Definitely my parents, my mom for sure, even my dad. I'm like a mix between the both of them, but yeah, it's great. Great parents.
Yeah, you always have that little mix of somebody's personality. That's why my book is that way. If I didn't have that humor, I wouldn't be who
Mm.
I am as far as humor goes.
Is your book more on the humor side or the nostalgic side, or is it a combination of both of them?
I say it's a combination of both of them. A lot of humor is involved. I was always say it's kind of like a it's written like a Wonder Years, the old show, take on Seinfeld. You can
Oh,
have both. So yeah, you're basically having maybe an adult point of view, excuse me, adult point of view, and you have the kid's point of view talking. A kid talking like me, and then it'll be like adult saying the funny part, like a Seinfeldism kind of a thing. And everybody knows Seinfeld. And if you've grown up, seen the Wonder Years. So kind of like that. So it has that, but a lot of nostalgic too. I mean, hey, I went to the high roller derby party. I bought a rose so I could, get this girl on to like me to go out there and skate with her. Mine didn't. I'm not gonna say what's happening with mine, but mine didn't turn out the greatest. But that's the way it is. Yeah. So humor and nostalgia, all wrapped into one, with some. Well, there's not much, a lot of sadness to it. That's the best part about it. I think it's very fun to read, uh, and I think that's why it's hopefully will appeal to readers that look at or buy my book.
there were some escapades in the book with the friends. It was funny reading
Mhm.
the escapades in the book. Yes, definitely.
Oh, a lot of some mischief. Obviously, there's mischief going on, some things, but like I said, no cell phones. You're on your own to do what you need to do, and you always knew you had to be back. And at a certain point, okay, be back this time or that time, or else they become looking for you. And yeah, a lot of escapades, a lot of fun stuff. Spitballs back in the day. We used to be water with my mouth and flick them at people. Oh, another thing too, we went to school force for a week, and that's the first time I've been away from home. I guess that's a little sad because I've never been away from my parents for a week. So you get, as your kid, you're younger, you're kind of sad, you want to go home. But it's also funny, like when they have the different events of with your friends when you get to be with them a week without your parents. So that's another thing in the book as well. So there's a lot, like I said, a lot of escapades that happen, and it's fun to it was fun to write about
Do you used to have memorabilia from the 80s that you would like to share?
it. Ooh, memorabilia, 80s. Well, I have the boom box. I'm gonna put this down. Oh, almost can't drop it. Well, I'm gonna show this.
Show us.
That's my bobblehead that a client gave to me from Lake Geneva Tennis when I was working there because they thought I was a very eccentric. People call me eccentric individual. So this is a pretty cool bobblehead. So one of the best gifts I ever got because it was a unique gift. And most famous people have bobbleheads. I'm not famous, but I have a bobblehead.
That's
And that
cool.
goes there. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's tennis, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we have memorabilia. I have this boom box.
Let's see. Oh, that's a cute little one. Look at that. Wow.
It's
Does it
got even
still
the.
work?
Oh yeah, it's got the. That's the lead into Van Halen jump.
Oh my, jump. Yes, another good one.
And it
Oh.
has like has the old braid. It has the old antenna. You could get up there and just go, "Hey, let's go, guys!" Get this boom box. I'm not gonna break dance. So I'll probably gonna just killing myself.
That is so cool. Look at the boombox, ladies and gentlemen.
You walk out. See you done with the interview. You walk out of here and you come back. And you come back here. So that's one of those things. Uh, Memorabilia. There's so much stuff. I don't really have a lot more. There's a lot of clothes and books, but um, that's one of the main ones. The shirt. Well, I hope I forget the
Let me
Big
see.
League Chew. This is the remember the Big League Chew?
Big league.
It's
Oh,
the
Dad.
it's
Wow.
the gum. It's the gum. Remember the gum, the Big League Chew gum
Yeah,
they
of
sell at the
course.
baseball
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
'80s was a Big League Chew gum. I'm wearing it today. That's in the book as well. You go to we used to go to a Wausau Timbers a single A game back in the '80s. They played like celebration, cool in the game stuff on the thing, or sorry, on the loudspeaker. We were warming up, and then we go get Big League Chew, something to drink with your friends. Again, cause mischief, but that's it's just fun. That's Big League Chew is another thing I have. Books. I could go on and on. Movies. I don't have them with me. There's a lot over there.
Hmm,
It's just so much memorable. And you can find it. And the good thing about nowadays, you can find it on YouTube. You can find all these things to go back and watch it
sure.
or any streaming service. So yeah, that's a lot of. What that
Remember
little
the
page?
baseball cards? We would get baseball cards and play that game. We'd flip them. I don't know if you played that game. In school, we would always do that. We'd get a bunch of baseball cards and play some game. We would flip them and trade cards. And then there was the bubble gum in the baseball cards as well. I would get
That's
the
right.
baseball cards for the bubble gum. Yeah. I
Yeah, it was. we used to play that with we used to call it seed baseball. We had like a little, it was a seed and we flick it, like you said, flick it and you like home runs and
Yeah,
stuff. I remember I used to collect baseball cards as a kid too when they were
me too.
valuable. It was awesome getting
Yeah.
like the rookies, like Barry Sanders rookie, all these great cards. There'd be one every like 20 packs. But the gum, I remember opening up a old pack and I tried to eat the gum. You know
Oh,
how it breaks apart and go, oh, this is awful, and broke your teeth and I don't know. But I love to have the gum inside. That's nostalgic. You're right. That's the base. I forgot about the baseball cards. That's
that's
a good
right.
point. Yeah.
Now, what was your favorite part about writing this book? What did you like? What was your favorite part?
I think the favorite part was just the reminiscing, the nostalgia part of when I was writing it. The going back and reliving those memories again. As you write, you can always relive the stuff. And I was like, ah, this is so easy to do. And then going back and reading it again. That was probably my favorite part is the process of writing it, putting it together and hey, this is the 80s, it flows and connecting with people with it as well. But that's probably my favorite part is the whole process of getting it together. Obviously, I did little notes and stuff too as well. You don't just I did the start and the ending first, and so I could know what I was doing in between the body of work. A lot of little notes, and from time to time, that was fun. If I remember something in the '80s about what happened to me, I'd write it down on my little notepad, and I go back and put those into the book and just where they're supposed to be. So that's the best part is just the fun of smiling about certain times as you do the writing.
Interesting. Do you have any other books in the works? Will there be a sequel? Will there be a 90s a show?
Yeah, I I should do a '90s a sequel to that one. Maybe I will. I have a couple in the works right now that I'm writing. There's one that's there. I have a vignettes that's called "There Are Monsters Among Us."
Oh,
The vignettes like short stories just about certain things that I've gone through with life and people have gone through. And um, I have one that's called. Let's see, the name is Glimpses.
nice.
Glimpses is a book about I was put on the benzodiazepine a long time ago and said it was safe for me. It wasn't for long term, and I didn't know that. So when I got off of it, you don't really feel like you're here. You have glimpses of feeling like you're actually here. I don't know if
Oh,
that makes sense. So that every time I like 5 minutes in a day, I feel like I'm actually here or talking to you. It's kind
oh,
of sad because this is what people go through. They have a benzodiazepine withdrawal, even if they're off of it. Everybody's different. This is what happens kind of to your thought process. You don't really wake up per se. So you're trying to wake up in the moment. So glimpses like from here, like, oh, hey, I can reckon. I mean, I can see and talk to and do all these things, but oh, I can actually feel the breeze. I can actually do these things and actually know that I'm there.
oh,
It's kind of a. It's like I saw a thing with Bill Murray, and he said something about I just want to be with you. Like you actually know that I'm talking to you. I know, but he was going, something was going through it, something like that. It's not just on autopilot. Like when I was a kid, I experienced all that stuff until up to that drug happened.
oh.
It kind of took that individualism and creativity away. I mean, and then it just said, yeah, it's not. I think glimpses will be one of those that's going to be it's going to be a hard write, but it's more of a therapeutic write for me. And I was just saying to myself, I want to wake up, and I'm everything's good, but I want to wake up. I want to just feel all these things.
So
And I have
sorry.
another one called last one I was gonna do is called um I have a title for that one, Catch and Release. That's another one. I'm not gonna really go into that one. That's more a personal one as well. But everything in all these books is gonna end well. I think the best thing with books, and a lot of times you see ending not great. For me, it's gonna end well with all these books. And maybe it's not the greatest thing that happened to me, but we have to always go through that stuff. That's part of life. I
Yes,
mean, so that's the
absolutely.
biggest thing that you know that too as well.
Of course.
If you don't go through those things and try to you can either go that way and say well it was me, right, or you can go that way and say well I'm tough, I can fight this and research what do I have to do to get better. So that's the biggest thing for me. So as of
Yeah.
right now I feel fine, I feel great, I'm glad I'm on your show. This has been a lot of fun, and like I said, that's those are the books that are in the works. And
Wow.
anybody out there, if they want to write a book, people ask me I should write a book. Well, write it. You
Mm,
never know what can happen. So
definitely. Okay, so I don't want to miss anything, but unfortunately, I'm running out of time.
Okay.
For anything, where can we reach you? And you said your book is coming out possibly in June.
Yes.
So what do you want to say in closing before we sign off? What did I
In closing, my you can go to my website. It's www.mattsembooks.com.
Okay.
That way you can view the website about the book, about me, a little bit of snippets from the certain parts of the book, like I wrote up, trailers. If you want to purchase the book at some point, hopefully it'll be out at the end of June. That's the project date they were giving me and the publishers I'm working with. And you never know with stuff. It can be pushed back. It can go earlier. Nothing's ever really earlier to me, but it's always maybe July. But I'm thinking the end of June. So they go to that website, sign up for my newsletter on there. I'm also on social media too. The book is on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to see it. Just to look at the covers. It's not like I said. It's at the early stages of the editing, or not. There's late stage editing process, but the website's a good place to really see what it's all about. I think, and me book, and like I said, the trailers too. I have some. I was going to show this too. I have some old trailers. This is my
Wow.
writing is awful, but
No,
these are
that's
trailers I made when I was younger. I made up like trailers in 2009, a DVD trailer, and it was pretty good. So that's something to look forward to on the website.
okay. Thank you so much. Sorry about the time constraint, guys, but
Mhm.
like, follow, share. When his
Yes,
book comes out, we'll let you know. You'll buy it. Hopefully, you'll like it. I'm sure you will. And subscribe to the channel. It's free. Thank you for coming on my show, Matt. It was a pleasure. We will talk soon because we'll have another interview when the book drops. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And bye bye, everyone, now.
thank you.
Bye. Bye, Matt.